Welcome to another thought-provoking episode of Monday Movie Pickup. So it's always a dangerous time to go to the used bookstore. Half-price books, they have quite a few stores around the Twin Cities area. First time visiting Twin Cities area in a year. It's been a while. So finally got to hit up some of those half-price bookstores again. I usually find some pretty unique movies there. It's not really the best place to get for a deal. They usually price things pretty similarly to what you'll find on eBay or Amazon, but the best thing about them is you can get the movies right there, no shipping costs, and sometimes they got some pretty neat stuff. Right away, we have some Warner Archive stuff. Right here is Room for One More. This is a Cary Grant film. I looked on the back, saw it was directed by Norman Taurog, which don't know much about him except he directed a bunch of Elvis movies, including Double Trouble, which I did a review of on the channel. And it was really weird. A bunch of Warner Archive stuff was showing up at the half-price bookstore. And it happens. You'll see stuff like that once in a while. You'll see Criterion discs. You'll see Kino Classics. You'll see even something from Umbrella. But I guess some people just watch the movies and they move on from them. I also got From Hell It Came. So this is not a great movie. The tree does not look like that. I saw that there was a Blu-ray release for it, and I was like, it's about time I finally see it, but I always pass it up during the 4 for $44 sale. It must be a sign that it's at this store. I don't really know why there were so many Warner Archive things, and especially the weird thing is that Room for One More actually has a 2021 Blu-ray release, so somebody literally just bought that movie this year, already brought it to a used bookstore, so they were done with it, I guess. This is on the Waterfront. This was not at the half-price bookstore, but this is just a Criterion set that I've been meaning to get. It is a Best Picture winner. I've been trying to grow that Best Picture collection in my library, and it's a movie that I've never seen. I've always meant to. Marlon Brando, this is kind of the movie he was most well known for until, well, The Godfather came out. I don't really have much more to say about it just because I've never seen it. I've seen the clip, I could have been a contender, but, I gotta actually see the movie to get some more about it. I don't typically like to read about movies or the synopsises until I actually see the movie. I try to avoid as much as I can, so I'm excited to give it a watch, but don't know much more about that beyond the title. I'm sure some cinephiles out there are mad at me at the moment, like, how have you not seen it? I don't know. I have seen Patton. This is another Oscar winner, which kind of going through the Best Picture stuff that I got in the past weeks. And this is a movie I actually have seen. I saw it on a plane. Probably not the best way to see the movie. I remember, the runtime is really close to 3 hours. I remember we were flying to Hawaii, and I was like, I gotta kind of make this trip enjoyable. The flight, anyway, because you got like a 6-hour flight there. It might even be longer. So I decided, I'm gonna watch Patton. This is the perfect time to watch a 3-hour movie, but it's probably not the best way to view the movie, on an airplane. Well, I don't remember much about it except George C. Scott, who, I don't know, I couldn't really stop thinking of Dr. Strangelove the whole time. We have Layer Cake here, so not an Oscar winner. We're kind of out of that now. But this is directed by Matthew Vaughn, one of his earliest films. This may even be his first film, unless there was something indie or smaller before that. I love Matthew Vaughn's work. I love the first Kingsman movie. Kick-Ass is like one of my favorite movies ever, so definitely wanted to check out Layer Cake. Plus, I do like Daniel Craig as an actor. We see him as James Bond, but he was really good in Knives Out, really good in Logan Lucky. So I'm interested to kind of see him in other stuff, and gonna give it a watch finally. This is another movie that has notable British actors. In Bruges, which is at the moment, I think it's on Letterboxd list for 2008. Based on user reviews. You can go through the movies of each year based on user reviews, which one's the best one, and this is like the first one in the 2008 list that I hadn't seen. So I know it's hit the IMDb top 250 list a couple times as well. Finally had to check it out. Don't know much about that one either, except it's got Colin Farrell in it. Silver Linings Playbook, and this the weird thing about this is I've done a review, but I actually watched it off of Netflix. I did not get the physical media of it, even though usually for reviews I do that. It was just like a timing issue. I didn't think I'd have enough time to get the movie to my house before the review came, so I just decided to take it off of Netflix. But I enjoyed the movie. You can watch that review to know more of my thoughts. Here's another Patreon request that's upcoming, ABCs of Death. So after I did the Deathcember anthology film, the Patreon member who asked for that review really enjoyed it, so he decided to also have me do the ABCs of Death, which is very similar premise. 26 movies, 26 directors, short films anyway, making for an anthology film. I actually had heard this title before being requested to review it. Deathcember I'd never heard of, but I've heard of this one, and I think Deathcember was pretty much inspired by this, and there were even a lot of reviews that said, oh, it's just a ripoff, but I mean, it's still different anthology short films, so I mean, how much of a ripoff can it be, except for concept, I guess. I thought it was an interesting concept, so it's cool to kind of see other directors try so many different things, and it's basically an excuse to watch a bunch of short films, so why not? I'm going to get through some kids' movies now. We got Good Burger, which, come on, it's Good Burger. It actually just hit Blu-ray this year, and wanted to give it a purchase, because Good Burger, home of the Good Burger, how may I help you? I mean, that movie has a few funny lines in it. The Adventures of Mark Twain. Now, I remember hearing about this movie a couple years ago. I don't even know if I would categorize this as a kid's movie. I remember some real freaky animation coming out of this. And I don't remember what video it was from, but I saw someone talk about this movie on YouTube, and it was like some of the freakiest imagery I'd ever seen in a movie. And for years I was too terrified to even check it out. But I actually saw that the half-price bookstore, and I was like, you know what? Maybe it's time to finally give this a watch. I didn't know if there was a Blu-ray release of this movie, but I guess here it is, and it actually is affordable on Amazon and eBay, but I guess since it was right there, I would purchase it sometime soon. I'll give it a watch and let Mark Twain flood my nightmares, because that's all I remember is that it doesn't show it on the packaging, but I remember some really freaky scenes from it. Bedknobs and Broomsticks, kind of the successor to Mary Poppins, and whatever made Mary Poppins successful, it's like recreated with Bedknobs and Broomsticks. Let's even hire some of the same actors. I've never seen it, but it's funny, a lot of my friends and other people I've seen online have talked about this movie, and they often get this one confused with Mary Poppins. They talk about the knights that are like the floating armor that's in this movie, but they would always say, isn't that from Mary Poppins? And it's like, no, that's not Mary Poppins. That's, I believe, Bedknobs and Broomsticks, which I'd never seen, but I knew it wasn't from Mary Poppins, because I'm like, I know that movie pretty well. It is not from Mary Poppins. So I think kids get those two movies confused, but knowing Disney, that was probably the purpose. Like, hey, let's make people think this is in the Mary Poppins universe, in the video cassette age anyway. I have the Inspector Gadget films here. I actually did a review of the first one already, but I decided to get this 2-pack. It does not have a Blu-ray release. There's not even a movie-exclusive club version of the Blu-ray release. I don't think there will ever be a Blu-ray release, unless, when Disney gets its reboot of Inspector Gadget out. Possibly they'll do a Blu-ray release of the classic ones. I guess they'll be considered classics at that point. I don't know. But I doubt it'll ever hit Blu-ray. And if you watch this on Disney Plus, they say it's in HD. I compared the quality of the DVD and the version that I saw on Disney Plus, and I don't think there is too much of an increase in quality. In fact, I think they're pretty much using the same DVD. The only problem with this DVD is that it's a letterbox. It's like for an old TV screen, so you gotta zoom it in on the modern TV. But even that, it pretty much looks exactly like what it looks like in the Disney Plus version. So I'm kind of wondering if they've ever done a true transfer of that movie to digital. I think they're still using the old DVD source. I did not watch Inspector Gadget 2. In fact, I don't even know if I've ever seen that movie. At least I don't have any knowledge of it at the moment. Man, I already talked about this on the Daily Cinephile video, but this is just the goofiest thing. Batmania. So, someone pointed out that this was probably made for the Tim Burton film, and yeah, it actually has a 1989 release, so that would make sense. I don't know if there's any footage from that movie in this. I think it was only made to promote it, so possibly there's like a trailer for the Tim Burton film in here, but I mean, it's made by Burbank Video, so I kind of doubt it. I don't think they would have the rights to the Tim Burton stuff. It looks like they got the rights to the 60s TV show, or at least to use it in this documentary, but I mean, being only 45 minutes, I don't know how much they dive into Batman himself. I looked it up on Letterboxd, and it looks like it had, like, I don't know, 6 reviews on it, so not that a lot of people have ever seen it. It's probably on YouTube, and you can probably watch it that way, but I definitely want to give it a watch, and I just wanted to add it to my Batman collection, because just look at that goofy face. Just such a goofy looking face. Oh man, I mean, what is this art? Why did you have to put Batman in the background and the foreground? I think people know what it is. And I have a Laserdisc. I very rarely get Laserdiscs, but can you see it? So right here we have Strong Kids, Safe Kids. This is a 1984 release, so the 80s, you know, because back then all the kids were getting kidnapped, being put on these milk jugs, and, you know, watch out for predators and robbers and kidnappers, and they're after our children. You know, that it was that age, and that's kind of coming back now with Facebook. But, you know, terror in the streets. So Henry Winkler of Happy Days is going to teach us all about protecting our kids and how to fight it off, I guess. I don't know actually anything about this special, but I did see that it only had a VHS release plus this Laserdisc release. This was very cheap, so I was like, maybe if it turns out good enough, maybe I can turn this into a review or something. As you can see, there's the Hanna-Barbera characters on there, so somehow they're involved in this as well. This was released originally by Paramount. So we got Happy Days, and we got the Flintstones, Scooby-Doo, and Yogi Bear. It's got to be great, right? Who knows? Maybe it's cute. I mean, maybe it's not as ridiculous or aged as one would suspect something from the 80s would be, especially a PSA, which I think this runs at a length of, I don't think it has, 42 minutes. So we got a 42-minute PSA. I don't know. Somehow, Strong Kids, Safe Kids, Family Guide, featuring Henry Winkler and the Hanna-Barbera cartoons, is somehow shorter than Batmania. What the F? What the F? I don't know why I said it like that. Anyways, that is all I had for this week, or at least the last couple weeks. That was actually a lot, so you know what? I think you guys are good, but stick around for future Monday movie pickups, and thanks for watching this video, and you can like it, you can comment on it, you can use that subscribe button, or you can even use that bell icon. In fact, I recommend it because YouTube, without that bell icon, is trying to make me fall to the wayside into the pits of history, disappear as much as Laserdisc and Henry Winkler himself. Thanks for watching the video, and special shout out to Anthony, Anna, Kirsten, Lucas, Ryan, and Robert for the support on Patreon. By joining my Patreon, you can get exclusive videos and blogs, and for only $7, you can request your own movie review. I hope you stick around, cinephile, and have a happy, productive day.